a week off from work and I wanted to get some gardening done today, but just look at the weather. I hope it clears up later on. So at last it's finally stopped raining. I've waited all day. It's now 2:30, so I've been passing the time watching a little bit of gardening videos on YouTube before I can get out here myself. I didn't think I'd manage to get a few hours out here as the rain has been belting down today. But the sun's out now and what a difference. I've got a few things to be getting on with. 29 degrees in here. Just look at my poor dahlia after all that rain. It's totally flopped over. I think I'll have to get some kind of stake. I've had a little fish about in the shed to see what I can come up with to support this dahlia. Poor thing. That one's all right, that'll do. Let's tie that up. I tied up all the other ones when I planted them, so I don't know why I didn't tie this one up. Just try and get all these lower ones in as well. That's better. Now you can actually see the flowers rather than it facing the flow. Snip that one off. There we are. That's better. And I spent 2 hours yesterday tidying up and brushing all these pathways. And as soon as we have a bit of rain, all them conifer bits come down again. It's a never-ending battle. So I could have saved my time and energy. And I will keep all my bird food in sandwich boxes in the greenhouse. So they are sealed. And I find it much easier just to come into the greenhouse and top them up and having to keep on going back and forth into the house. The Armandii, the Clematis Armandii is doing really well. And now that's got enough growth to spread over each side. And just at the very top, you can see that there's finally some flowers on it, which is great for the first year. I'm so happy. And one thing that I've got to go out and buy this week is definitely a new pair of gardening shoes. These aren't ideal. I need a pair of plastic ones. I get them from the garden centre. I think they're only $12.99, but my other ones just fell off my feet. So I think it's time for a replacement. Now I've been thinking ahead towards the autumn, and I've got this lovely skimmia. but it's not doing too well in the pot. Now I bought a few of these going back last year, and the other two I put in the ground and they are doing much better, but this one is quite yellow. As you can see, it is flowering, but the leaves are very yellow on it, and I fed it and it is in the shade, so it's got to be a pot issue. Now the other two that I've got are in really deep shade, and one of them is at the back of this border here, tucked behind the rhododendron. And I don't know if you can see in there, but it's a lovely dark green in colour, and it seems to be doing a lot better in the deeper shade. Now moving out to there and moving down the garden path, the other one that I've got is also in shade, and it's just tucked in there, and that one is doing well also. So the only other place that I can put that one is just where that fern is there, which will mean moving the fern, but that's not really too big an issue. See if you can see it better from this side. But then is it too close to that one there? Well, it shouldn't really make much of a difference. It grows to about 1.5 meters tall and wide, so it'd be an ideal place really to place it in there. And you know what? I think I'm gonna do it. But saying that, there's a lovely area in there, which is just to the left of that fern, and that's in quite deep shade also, semi-shade really, and then that would be tucked behind the cordyline and in front of the laurel. Doesn't look like a lot of space, but it is. There's a good metre of ground there. Let's see if I can get in amongst these plants and start digging a big enough hole. Since I've trimmed back the John Phillips, I've been left with a lot more space now in this garden bed. So I've been looking to see what I can put along the front. And I've got these lovely Heucheras, which are currently in pots. So the plan is to take them out of the pot. Why go out buying when you can utilise what you've already got? And I'm going to place them in the ground, just along the front of the pathway. And once they're out of the pots, I can give them a little tidy up of any of the dead growth that's underneath. So let's have a look and see if I can get some of these out of the pots. So there's currently 4 plants in these 2 planters. There's 2 in each, and they're coming out quite easy. Very easy. And all I want to do, so if I move that out of the way, so all I want to do is to just go around the plant and just take anything off. It's not doing so good. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be for old growth, because these are plants that I don't really look at that much. They've been in this planter now for a year. And with these plants you can split and divide them. And if you look, you can see where they would naturally divide. But I'm not going to divide them, I'm going to leave them in large clumps. And then just dig some holes and pop them in, just to see where I want them to go. This one's got a little bit more dead growth on it, so I'll just pull that away. And I think 3 along the front should do it. Put that one around about there. And I think 1 over the other side. And so taking a look at some of these plants, you can see where some of the dry growth is. So this here, all of these will need to be trimmed away. And I'll do that before I plant them in the ground. So let's take a bit of a deeper look now to see what I've done in the garden bed without buying anything new. So, as you can see, I've added in some Heucheras along the front, and these I bought in B&M last year. These were on the reduced section. I think I either paid 50p for them or £1 each. And I had a few Aeoniums in pots, so I've added them in as well. And we've got a tiny little pink china, so I'll just flip the camera around and take you around the other side. That palm tree there I had given to me as a bit of a freebie when I bought my waggy palm from Facebook Marketplace, and the kind gentleman threw in this palm tree. It's been in a few different places. It's a cross between a waggy and a nova. It was in a pot, but I've done a little bit of research, and apparently they don't like being pot grown, so time to put that in the ground. So we've got a few Salvia, a few Begonias, a little bit of Persicaria there underneath the plum tree, and a Salvia. That's a Salvia Amistad. And yes, I know I have put back the Euphorbia robii, but I did like it there. But I just wanted to fill up the spaces here, not spend any more money, and try and make it a little bit more tropical. And the best thing about using these Heucheras is that they're easy just to dig up and move along the garden. Now down the bottom of the garden, this is where the bird table is, and I've got 2 Begonias. There's a winter sun and a charity over the other side. But the question I wanted to ask you is, if you do feed the birds, have you found that the seeds are sprouting in the ground? So I think I'll have to change my food. When I wanted grass to grow here, I couldn't get it to grow. And now there's no stopping it. I'm always out with the hoe. So this is also where I moved the Yucca Jewel, and I'm not expecting this to be hardy throughout the winter months. But so far so good. But over the winter, we'll tell the truth. Is it going to be hardy in the UK? Time will tell. I've also just added another Aeonium. This one's in a pot, and I've just balanced this one on the wall there. Looks really nice too in the sunshine. And just look at those there. Beautiful flowers on them and a proper bee magnet. Now the plum tree, this was behind the tiki bar, and as it's got the overhang from the conifer trees, I looked at it yesterday and it was so dry, it was bone dry. So I had to bring this out into the garden. I've given it some fresh compost and given it 2 big bucketfuls of water, and it's drunk it all up. But those leaves now are looking a lot plumper and refreshed, and I think it's really thanking me for it. And this is the Victoria plum. So heading down the other side of the garden now, down to where I've done my other little bit of planting today. You can see in there, there it is. That's the skimia. And you can actually see now the difference in colour between the two. How one is quite yellow and the other one is a dark green there. So I just moved the fern. So it's still got a lot of protection, the fern. The fern is just hiding in there behind the big cordyline. So that's still in the shade. But that plant there is really yellow. So fingers crossed, it's had a feed and I can't really do any more. But I think it'll be okay now in the ground. So it actually turned out quite nice today. And another busy day in the garden. And I managed to get everything done that I wanted to do. And look who's come to give me a hand in the garden. Say hello, Tony.
Hello, Tony.
He does like to have a little go at watering. It's the only thing you do like doing though, isn't it, Tony? You don't like planting. Tony is not a planter. But give that area a good old soaking, because I've just planted all that area there. Just give it a good, give that plum tree a really good water, because that haven't had a water in a long time. And the other one was really dry. There we are, and everything that I've planted. And see if you can give that dahlia pot a good water as well outside the greenhouse, because they don't really get a lot of water because they're all underneath the trees. Aren't we lucky not to be on a ban yet for the water, for the hose pipes? There we are, that's enough. It did rain this morning. Lovely. I'll coil it all up in the morning, don't worry about that. That'll be fine. I don't think it's going to rain tonight. There's a nice sky up there. Thank you, Tony. I'll be in now. So I got a few more days off now, so I'm going to sit down and relax and just enjoy my time. So thank you so much for watching. And when I've got anything new to put up, what I'm doing in the garden, I'll put it up for you. So until next time, I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching and bye for now.